Yo, what's good though? Soul here and welcome back to my story mode. So I'm sure that a couple of you are thinking about how weird this is right now. A video talking about anything that's not the games? Why? Why are we doing that? Well, you gotta think about the times right now. The remakes are done, Legends is pretty much finished, and Scarlet and Violet probably isn't gonna get any kind of news for the next probably 3 to 4 months or so. So currently, we're in what I like to call experimental territory. There's some other things regarding Pokemon that I've always wanted to talk about, and since we can't really do anything else with the games right now, I thought it would be kind of appropriate to talk about other things for the time being. Like the anime, for instance. Now before we get into that little discussion, I have a couple of things to say, and if you would like to skip that, don't worry, timestamps are right down below. Skip right on ahead. But for one thing, I know that I'm not doing a great job of keeping this video timeless by talking about exactly what time period we're in, ergo in between Legends and Generation 9, so I know what's happening here, but I felt the need to talk about this. All I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that any of the other content is going anywhere right now, but there's really no news to update on, and there's really nothing else for me to cover regarding the games that I haven't considered or thought about already. So for anybody that's worried about the other content leaving, don't worry, it's still gonna be here, I'll just do it when I can. And when the games come out, we're covering that daily. The last thing that I need to bring up is, no, this is not the secret project that I was talking about in that poll about a month ago. You guys said that you guys wanted to see the secret project, and I'm absolutely going to do that. However, that one's going to take a little bit of time, and unfortunately, the algorithm doesn't like giving people time, especially when they're smaller creators like myself, so I do need to put out something in the meantime. But hey, I would like to give you guys something to wait with, so I decided we should talk about a couple of other things in the meantime. So here we are with this. Now, this doesn't have to be the only time that we talk about the anime. I do have a lot of things to say about it. I even have a couple of different scripts lined up for this in the meantime. However, I want to know if you guys truly want to see something like that. So I'm gonna ask you to do me a huge favor. If you enjoyed this video, do me the absolute greatest favor of dropping a like and talking to me about it in the comment section below. I know that I usually save that for the end, but it's very crucial now, because if you want to see more stuff like this, you gotta let me know, because otherwise I'm gonna have to try to move on to something else. And finally, as another little surprise, I have a little ultimatum for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned to find out what that is. Now, with all of that in tow, with all of that laid out, we can finally start our discussion, our very first discussion, regarding the Pokemon anime, and why I have beef with it. As of right now, I'm actually not at all sure how much I've actually brought up the anime on this channel, but if it wasn't obvious, it makes me very angry. And I'm not sitting here saying this because I think that the anime is just straight up bad. That's not what's happening here. I'm glad that the anime is successful, and I'm very glad that people are enjoying their time with it right now. Absolutely no hate there. More power to you. However, something I have mentioned to all of you multiple times is one of my biggest pet peeves. And one of my biggest pet peeves is wasted potential. If you've been around for a while, you already know that we've discussed in depth about all of the wasted potential of the Pokemon games. What if I told you that the anime was suffering from the exact same problem, if not possibly even worse? Now for the record, I'm specifically talking about Pokemon 2019's anime. The rest I either watched as a kid or I watched a very good portion of it before I fell off. But hey, I've been on Twitter a long time now, and I saw that the Pokemon anime was doing awesome, so I'm like, cool, great. And then I heard about this new anime in 2019 that was coming out, and I'm like, yeah, sure, let me give that a shot. Now the first time I fell off was strictly because life was getting in the way, I was very busy, I was just doing my thing, whatever. Second time around though, I got about 70 episodes in before I was like, what the hell? However, it wasn't until I got to that point that I realized what my problem was. When I started my rewatch, I started watching the entirety of the series on Netflix. I did that so that I could watch it in dub purely for the sake of convenience. But you know Netflix, it takes them ages to update anything, especially in the anime category. But obviously, as a connoisseur of anime, I'm fully aware of this already. So, once I finished everything that was on Netflix, I immediately went off to my little site to try to watch the rest of the anime. The first thing that I remembered is that the sub is fire. Like, it actually makes the anime feel like an anime, as opposed to a cartoon. But then, after we got past a certain point, I'm like, what's going on anymore? And then I unintentionally again kind of fell off, but that second time it was much harder to jump back on. And I think that was because I had finally realized at that point that the little bit of plot that we got, like in the middle of the series, was already over. And after getting that, I didn't care to just continue the nonsense and the extra dribble that we were getting each episode. So on the rare occasion that I would come back to the anime, I would just kind of skip around to look at episodes that had something remotely interesting going on. Other than that, I was skipping anything that I considered filler. Now, two things that you have to consider when it comes to me and anime. One, I am very, very patient with anime. Most people would drop an anime in about 3 to 5 episodes if they don't find it very interesting or entertaining. Me, even if I don't care for it, I will give it a true, genuine shot before I end up dropping it. Hence why there's some anime that I've watched all the way through that I'm sure a lot of you haven't even heard of or heard anybody talk about. So, I'm telling you right now, this isn't me being a big baby about the anime. However, I will recognize that a lot of my issues stems probably from the fact that I've grown up a lot. And growing up, I've come to understand that when it comes to watching things, I need actual plot. And you know, I know what the Pokemon anime is. I wasn't shocked going in or anything like that, but by the time I finished the little plot that they had, I was like, I can't do it anymore. Now here's my thing, the fact that it's missing plot isn't my only issue with the series. There's other things that I was gonna talk about today that add on to my collective growing list of things that make this anime irk me so much. One of the biggest of which is the fact that this series had no idea what the hell it wanted to be. You see, this anime is so weird because it's so different from the anime prior to it. While in the older anime, there would be a lot of filler and random episodes, but they would still consistently follow the plot of the games for the most part, this anime barely did that at all. In the usual case, Ash would completely end up in a new region for whatever reason, he wouldn't have his previous team, and he would meet a whole new cast of characters, and they would journey centrally in that region, and go through the story that happened in that region. In this situation, Ash goes to attend some kind of a camp where he and his new friend Go travel all over the world. At first I was wondering, why would they do that? And then you go back and play Pokemon Sword and Shield and you're like, oh yeah, there's no plot to follow in those games, so they kinda had to do something different. So I thought, okay, cool, they had a good setup, and then they just started doing things. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, dope, awesome, this is Pokemon, this is kind of what I expect, let's just let them have their fun in the sun, I'm sure something will happen eventually. And then like 40 or 50 episodes happened. After that, it was only like 6 episodes of plot or something like that followed Sword and Shield, and then it went right back to where it started. Now, I was actually very irritated by this point because we got past the one part of the series that was actually mildly interesting besides all of the random goofiness that was happening. While all of that was cute, I like plots, I like growth, I like progression. And we just threw that right in the garbage after like 6 episodes. They were like, nope, we don't need to do that ever again. Now, when I say that this series doesn't exactly know what it wants to be, that stems from a couple of things. First, it comes from that weird half and half thing where half the show is like a goofy, fun, chummy cartoon about friends doing stupid stuff all the time, yada yada, whatever. And then there's the other half where it spends an entire 24 minutes on a very intense battle between Ash and some other random character, whether we know them or not, and it's usually extremely predictable. Either they absolutely mop the floor with Ash, or he wins by pure willpower. It's the same thing every time. It eventually got to the point where I was able to predict who was gonna win or lose before the battle even started. And not only are the outcomes extremely predictable, but every single time you would see Ash or any of these other characters get into battles with anybody else, it's almost like they didn't learn anything. It's almost like type matchups don't even exist here for some reason. And that's where this thought comes into play. Do you want to be this goofy cartoon with no real plot, kids just doing things, being kids? Or do you want to have these very intense battles where people have to learn and grow from their battles and get better, smarter, and stronger? Because by doing what you're doing, it kind of kills the flow a little bit, because it's like, I don't know, there's no real lead-ups or build-ups to anything. I'm not looking forward to battles. They just kind of happen, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is starting now. And I just don't know how to feel. Like, should I be hyped up? Should I be, like, content, like, with whatever happens? I don't know how to feel. And then there's the other big problem where you guys have this version of Ash that's apparently been all around the world and has met all of these different people, has become friends with all of these different characters that we've known for years. So in turn, you've made all of Ash's adventures canon somehow, and yet you're telling me that all of that happened in under the span of a year? He hasn't grown at all since doing all that and canonically becoming champion of a region? And by the way, when I say grow, I don't mean just physically. Not only has he not aged, but mentally, he's as dumb as he's ever been, possibly even dumber. He still doesn't even know his basic type matchups, and he's getting squashed in battles he could have easily bypassed. It doesn't make any sense to me. And don't you dare sit there and tell me that it's for the sake of the plot to make him lose or whatever, because there is no plot. There's no reason that he should be losing. What confuses and angers me is who they're trying to promote this series to when they do stuff like giving us flashbacks of characters that we haven't seen in years on end and bringing them back for like 1 or 2 episodes or something like that. See, here's the thing though, when we were growing up, they never did stuff like that. We didn't see Gary in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. We didn't see Misty and Brock and stuff like that in Pokemon Black and White. Why are they bringing all of these characters back for like these cameo episodes if this is supposed to be geared towards kids? The only people that would remember that are the people that grew up with Pokemon like that. I mean, granted, I guess the writers and the animators are having their fun in the sun, I guess, just doing what they want to do with the anime by bringing back old rivals and friends of Ash and everything like that. But it's like, this series is completely aimless. Whatever, I could talk about that all day, but in reality, I'm probably just digging way too hard into something that probably doesn't need that hard of a digging. At the end of the day, either you remember the characters or you don't, and that's why they're in those pointless cameo episodes where they serve little to no purpose. Speaking of characters, why don't we talk about Chloe for a second? For the record, I actually had to look her name up because I almost forgot that the sub and dub names are completely different. Like, Ash is Satoshi, and Koharu is Chloe. Just thought that was a fun thing, but anyway, Chloe's completely useless. For like 80% of the episodes that she is in, she does not contribute a single useful thing at all. One of the 2 times that I can remember her being actually useful was that one episode where it took her the entire 24 minutes to give Yamper a command to attack the Gengar and get it out of the house. It took an entire episode for one command. Besides that though, every other time that she's on screen, it's like she's irritated with her family, or irritated with the professor, or irritated with Ash and Go for existing. It's like she doesn't want to be there 90% of the time, and it's like, then don't be. Why is she a character if she doesn't want to be around 90% of the time? It's like Lily all over again, except this time there's no overarching plot, so she's a lot less important to the overall story, quote unquote, and generally just overall less interesting. I don't know, maybe y'all in the comments could tell me, what does she do? Like, Ash has his whole thing of wanting to be a champion again, Go has his thing of completing the Pokédex, and he's been doing a pretty damn good job filling that thing out, but what does Chloe do? What does Koharu do? Because I don't remember, I don't know. I guess I'm just a little irritated because I saw a lot of potential for that character when she would show up every like 10 to 15 episodes or something like that. And then when she was finally just really a part of the team, I was like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna see her do more and really come into her character. and then she just doesn't do anything or contribute to any situation ever. Now, there was one situation where, I guess spoiler alert, the future version of her does help with a specific situation in one of the special episodes that was supposed to be for the Diamond and Pearl event, but that episode pisses me off more than anything that I've ever seen in the entire series. And this kind of leads me into my next point. How they deal with solutions in these episodes is infuriating, and I have the perfect example right here. I guess you could consider this spoiler alert part 2, but anyhow, in that Diamond and Pearl special, Ash and co end up going to somewhat of an alternate universe where there's a completely separate version of themselves, which is very opposite of how they usually are. And I don't know 100% of the context as to how they ended up there like that exactly, but again, you don't really need all that much context because you could just jump from episode to episode and be fine. But anyway, Ash, Go, Chloe, and Dawn end up going to a completely different realm where Dialga and Palkia are completely at war with each other, like they are straight up trying to kill each other. And because of this battle, they're accidentally letting loose all of these beams that are opening up portals everywhere where they shouldn't be. And I guess because time is also getting messed up, all of the characters and their Pokemon are getting reduced in age. All of them are aging backwards. All of their Pokemon are turning back into eggs. All of the characters are turning back into children. At one point during the episode, all of the characters' Pokemon have turned back into eggs, and all of the characters themselves have turned into 5 or 6 year olds. Now, how do you think a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds decided to handle two gods at war? That's right, they begged and prayed so hard that Arceus just showed up, stopped the battle between Dialga and Palkia, and everybody just went home and everything was perfect again. Saying it out loud makes me feel so stupid. Like, I literally cannot stop laughing after saying that out loud. Again, I kinda get that I'm not the target audience. I completely understand. But at the same time, that is so utterly ridiculous that I can't do it. I can't do it. And what is that teaching kids that are watching, you know? Like, oh, if you beg and plead hard enough, maybe cry about it too, all of your problems will be solved just like that, just instantly. Now, I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, bro, that's a terrible example of how they solve problems. That was literally just a couple of episodes to promote the remakes. That's not even an issue. And sure, that's fine. That's definitely one fair way to think about it. But consider this, the battles that Ash participates in. In the midst of recording this video, I decided to skip around and watch a couple of battle episodes just to see that I'm not exaggerating here. Usually they fill up the first like 5, 6, 7 minutes of the episode with padding because they need something to fill out the runtime. And then the rest of the episode is the battle between Ash and the other person, and it usually goes one of a couple ways. Ash either loses or he wins by the skin of his teeth. I watched 3 very specific episodes where Ash battled and he should not have won at all. The first battle to piss me off was the one against Marnie. Her Grimmsnarl was in the midst of powering up, just becoming stronger with Stomping Tantrum, and Ash got a crit Shadow Ball and knocked it out. Whatever, he won for the sake of convenience. I guess they were both worn out enough. Fine, fair enough, whatever. In the battle against Rayhan, they were both down to their last Pokemon each. Rayhan had Duraludon and Ash had his Lucario, who he was not able to Mega Evolve because he already Gigantamaxed Gengar in the round right before. Now, right off the bat, Rayhan Gigantamaxes Duraludon to try to end the fight as fast as possible. So, how exactly is a bare bones Lucario going to deal with a Gigantamax Duraludon? If you guessed with the power of friendship, congratulations. You are a complete weeb who has watched way too much anime, probably Fairy Tail. Anyhow, apparently Ash's old Greninja came back a couple of episodes ago and helped train Mega Lucario because it knows how to work Mega Evolution. for some reason, even though it's not a mega. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. And I guess in its mega form, it managed to learn how to use some really strong aura sphere. Okay, that kind of makes sense, you know, it's a mega Pokemon, and so attacks like its signature aura sphere should be stronger. That just makes a lot of sense. But like I said, Ash is not able to use Mega Evolution. So how in the hell did it manage to pull off an aura sphere that's even bigger than the one that it had when it was Mega Evolved? Because apparently real strength, training, and power means absolutely nothing when you are Ash Ketchum. That's why. And I am so irritated that he made it into the top 8 world-class trainer tournament because he pulled off a BS aura sphere that Rayhan just sit there and let Duraludon tank. That is crazy to me. So anyway, I'm sure that you get the idea by now. I put a halt on this video for a couple of days to really just understand that the main anime just isn't really for me anymore like that. This series is through and through not really made for grown folks, but it's just kind of confusing because you would kind of think so when they would throw in characters and elements that only the grown folks from the older generations would really know about. But who's to say? Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass here. Maybe I'm just underestimating the newer generation of Pokemon enjoyers and they know more than I knew they knew about. Either way, somebody is enjoying the Pokemon anime, and that's cool by me. I hope they are enjoying it to the fullest extent. No hate towards them, and no hate towards the anime, but personally, I've just been waiting for something a little more focused for a very long time now. And with this series starting to really wind down and come to an end, I feel like there's a lot of new possibilities for the series. Although that possibility is most likely just another reset Ash going through the journey of another region, but who can say anything at this point? I couldn't tell you. So anyhow, that just about wraps it up for one of many of the upcoming experimental videos that I have in store for you guys. Now, if you recall at the beginning of this video, I said that I had a little bit of an ultimatum for you guys. It's nothing crazy, but just hear me out. A couple of you guys have been very prominent about asking for a Discord for the channel. And at first, for a while there, I was really in between on that because I don't really know how to work Discord all that well, and every time it would come up, it would be during a downtime on the channel. And yet, it still managed to come up a lot. So, here's my ultimatum. As it is now, we are already insanely close to 6,000 subscribers. So what I want from you guys is to help me hit that little goal there. Starting at this point, I'm gonna get the Discord server ready for you guys so that when we do hit that goal, I just drop it and it's just gonna be ready to go. In that Discord server, I would like to do a lot of things, host different little game challenge nights, maybe some movie nights and things like that, and most definitely a lot of giveaways because I really want to start giving back to you guys. You guys have been immaculate these last 2 years for me and it's been awesome. So I want to make sure you guys recognize that. I want to do some giveaways for you guys. So at this point in time, not only am I going to be working on the Discord, but I'm going to be working on giving you guys content at a regular rate so that, you know, it would actually be deserving of that 6,000 goal because I have been gone for a hot ass minute and I do apologize for that. It's just been a very slow couple of months. But I believe in us. So, in the time being, I'm going to give you guys stuff like this. I'm going to give you guys more stuff on Generation 9, whatever comes up, and we'll play it by ear. So, really quick, could you call your dog over here? There he is. Look at the good boy. Here, hey, buddy. I'm gonna need you to give it to me now. Go ahead, spit that out for me. Good boy. Get the hell out of here. So I'm gonna need you to do me a quick favor. First, wash your dog's gunk off of the mic, and then you go ahead and use it to tell me what you guys think of the Pokemon anime currently. Do you think it's on the right path? Have you always loved the Pokemon anime as is? Do you not like it? Are you maybe on the same fence as me where it's not bad, but it's just not what you're looking for right now? Tell me everything in the comment section below because I know for a fact y'all got a lot to say, and you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and skedaddle on out of here. I would like to thank you guys again ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But with that, I'm outro. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Doing the greatest favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.